Here's another installment of my random photo notes kind of vlog stuff. I know I've been very lazy and haven't been really keeping up. I have a good excuse for part of that because I finally started working again. I've got an independent consulting gig, so that feels good. I've had a company of my own for quite a while under which I could do independent consulting, but I haven't done any of that independent consulting in quite a while. So I went to look at my cards that I had made years ago, and they were all out of date and ugly. So I designed myself a new card, and even when I ordered the cards, which I didn't get from moo.com, even though I really like those guys, and they don't pay me anything to say that. They do really good work, though, moo.com. I just didn't want to pay the money and wait. I needed the cards sooner than later. So I went cheap on Staples. .com and had the cards made. But one thing that they offered along with it was the ability to print a notebook with your card design on the front. So when I'm doing consulting, I actually take copious notes about what I spent my time on and my hours and so forth. So I got one of these as a little treat. Just I thought it was kind of cool to be able to have my business card design show up on it. I've been needing to review the Billingham Pro that you see sitting behind me there. I like the bag a lot, and I've been using it long enough to form some opinions, and so I'll get around to reviewing that sometime really, really soon, maybe. Then I, along the way, had bought a Domke F803 back in my prior job because I thought it would be good for my purposes there, and ended up never using it. But I should review it before I find another home for it, don't you think? I have my film development video done. You know, if you've been following along, you'll notice that I've been publishing various videos on the film development process, and the last one is actually throwing your film in the tank and developing it. I've got that in the can. It's basically ready to go. The bummer is, back a couple of months ago when I recorded the video, see how long I sit on stuff, my video camera ran out of room on the SD card, and so right about the time I was ready to hang the film up is when it ran out, and so that's not on the video. And as I edited the video and got to the end, I was like, wow, this ends pretty suddenly. I don't know if I want to publish this as is. I just am curious if anybody even feels like responding on this. Would it bother you if you don't get to see me hang the film up? Doesn't seem that important, but then again, it takes away from closure on the thing. It ends so suddenly. Anyway, that's why I haven't posted that. I have actually gotten out to shoot. Well, I got in to shoot and I got out to shoot. I got in to shoot, and I just kind of one night decided I got to shoot something. My sort of RPW, my rolls per week, has gone down incredibly in this last year. I used to get about a roll a weekend, and now I'm probably down on average to a third of that. And so the other night I was feeling kind of guilty about it. So I pulled out one of my Hasselblads and put a instant film back on it and shot some Fuji FP3000B, of which I had like 3 packs in the refrigerator. I had never shot one, so I was like, I need to shoot that stuff. I need to just shoot in general. So I actually did a bit of that, and you're seeing some of the photos as I talk here. So that was fun, and I actually like the qualities of that film. I mean, just given the fact that it's pretty high resolution or low resolution film, it still has kind of an interesting look to it. So, you know, I think you can have fun with something like that on any camera that you can put it into. And then last weekend, I just made my mind up that I was going to go out and shoot up a roll of film. So I did that. I took the R8 out and I shot up some Leica R100, which I like. For some reason, I can't really defend this. I like it a lot better in 35mm than I do in medium format. That's just ridiculous when I think about saying it. It sounds stupid, but maybe it really has to do with the scanning process. It's, you know, obviously the film stock is the same. But somehow when I get my results back in 35mm color, if I've shot Ektar, I'm happier with it than if I shot Portra. and it's the opposite when I do medium format. I like portrait a little better. So anyway, you're seeing some of those too right now. I think I've made mention in comments here and there, but haven't said so in a vlog, that I felt the need to get down to one SLR 35mm kit. I have some Contax gear. I've got the Leica R8 and associated lenses and motor drive, and I've got the Contax G rangefinders. And it seems like too many cameras to have two 35mm SLR kits. So I've been kind of selling off the Contax, and I thought I would say why, even though in my videos I've really talked up Contax, and I continue to like them as a brand, and I think they have some of the best features and sort of the user interface of the camera, the way the controls work, of any camera out there. But if I carry one around all day in my hand, it's not that comfortable for me. So it sounds like a minor issue, but it kind of gets to me. I must have some of the beginning of arthritis in my knuckles, because these knuckles get very sore carrying the wrong shaped camera, and it doesn't just happen with the Contax. Anyway, as you know, along the way I tried the Leica R8, and it seems to fit my hand better. So I think it's because it's got smooth transitions, and so I'm a little more comfortable with this guy. It just seems like where my knuckles hit it, it's the smooth spot, and it works real nicely. So that, plus, you know, both brands have awesome lenses, so you don't miss out lens-wise. But with the Contax, they all have a similar shape. They've got that nice finger grip here, but you can see that they're pretty square. And somehow, I noticed over time that if I wielded one of these too much, that my these knuckles would start getting sore. So, as much as I love the way you control a Contax, the way the controls are laid out, and the easy to access exposure compensation and shutter speed dial, and the way you can lock exposure with it, all that kind of stuff, the Contax lost out in the SLR race, for which sort of brand I'm going to stick with. And that decision was made a little bit easier by the fact that I have the Contax G stuff. That's rangefinder. But the cool thing is, in Contax's line, they do a very good job of making the interface of the cameras the same across the line. Even their 645, their 6x4.5 medium format camera, has very similar controls as their 35mm SLRs and rangefinders. So, long way of saying, one way I could talk myself into letting go of my Contax SLRs was to keep in mind that I have the Gs, which work very much like the SLRs do. So stay tuned for the review videos that will come out someday, and I'll talk to you later.